You're welcome.
Here we go. Okay, good morning. Let's get started. Today we're going to cover Darwin Cloud and a few of the things we can cover for agents, as well as some admin things that they can do. Being that it's, we just got through tax season, 1099s were sent out. I figured we'd cover a little bit of that. Agents have a lot of questions with that. So I'm just going to show you how to run a report that agents tend to want a lot. This is the same report that's sent out around October or November, just to verify agents' information. The only thing we're looking at on that report that's sent out that early is that their legal name, it matches their license. That's very specific to Michigan. I think Florida, Ohio may be a little bit different on what they can hold their license in. But as far as Michigan, they have to have their license, their legal name. So those are some of the things we're looking for. The other thing is that their address hasn't changed. Sometimes we know agents move a lot, and they, there's a lot of places to update addresses. So that's the second thing that we verify when we're looking at that report. So it's really easy to run. You can run it yourself for the agents if they'd like. And it's just this button up here. It's at reports, and that'll pop over to all reports. You can stay right here on all reports, or you can also type in it in the filter. And I just search 1099. And then I do agent 1099 review right here. And it's going to pop up this box. You can leave it as all because it's only going to run the report for who you're looking for. The reconciliation ID is where we really need to be specific. So you can click this drop down, and then it has all previous years and each company. So you just need to look for the year that you're looking for, and we're going to scroll all the way down to 2024. And then we're going to hit Schmidt Realtors. We'll run one in Travers. So you just click your DBA, and then make sure it's the correct year. You don't need to do person type, and then you search for the person. I'm not going to pull this report up because it does have sensitive information on it. It will show their totals, there's financial info, but this is how you run the report. It's very simple to do. You search the name, it'll pop up the search box just like it does when you're searching for a buyer or seller. And then you can hit preview, or you can hit send email and preview. You can email it to yourself, or you can email it directly to the agent that you ran the report for. You can choose to put a subject in or not. It doesn't matter. It will still send. That will then give the agent a link to this report where they can verify the information. Just keep in mind, this is only going to have closings on it where the production they got through closings. If they made money through independent contracting or anything else like that, that may not be on there. So we're not really looking for the accuracy on this report. This report is specific to the agent's name and info, address. It will have a lot of the info on there. And they're mostly pretty close, but some of them have been off just due to the fact that they were paid differently. Mike Griffith is, if they didn't receive their 1099, he would be the person to reach out to get that sent. But that's also why we verify the name and address in the beginning before they're even sent out, because there's a lot that need address changes. So we kind of try to hinder that. We, nip that in the bud in the beginning to make sure they're sent out properly. So that's the 1099. That's going to be specific to some of their earnings. The other report would just be the agent statement. And you can search it. That's probably going to be under the agent one. I just like to stay in the all reports and search them. It's much easier for me, but whatever your preferences works for you. So the agent statement, then you can just pick the year. You can do predefined, and I'm going to do last year because I want what this now is what the agent paid. Please make sure we're not saving the custom reports. Because this is specific to this agent. When you save these custom reports, they do have access to everyone. So you're literally making this report available for this person through for the company. So we try to limit access, or limit saving them as custom. But specifically, we'll just use this one for now. You would pick last year. So we're gonna go to last year, and then it's gonna auto-populate the dates from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. You can leave company as all and office. This is where you would click the agent. You would search the agent. You can just type in the name and hit search, and then run the report, or the same thing, you can also send it to the agent straight to them. You can send it to yourself and forward it. The links are only good for a week, so just keep that in mind. If you send it directly to the agent, you may want to notify them they need to actually export the information or download it in order to save it longer than that. The agents do have access to this as well. They can run both of these reports themselves, and they can get their own information, but us as ASCs, we do often help agents a lot, so this is something ASCs can do as well. Any questions on 1099 or agent statements? The agent statement's going to show them how much they've paid to the company throughout the year. So it's just an important document for taxes. If you do have questions, just feel free to unmute as well. So that kind of covers the two reports. I am going to cover a couple other things for the agents that they can do as well, but we can also do for the agents as ASCs. So a couple of the things we get questions on a lot is their headshots. So I'll just pull up a company dollar. So you're just going to search the agent. You can pick any of the, I'm just using company dollars because they are a pretty generic profile. There won't be any information in there. I'm going to go to Traverse City because I think it's going to have a little bit more info there. Okay, so pretend like this is an agent profile. Their first name and their last name are going to be here. If they use an LLC or any sort of name, say they want their name, say their name's Tom and their legal name is Thomas. They want their Tom to display on their websites. So we would put actually their first name as Tom and their last name as Dollar. But their corporate name needs to be Thomas because their 1099 needs to be in their legal name. If you have questions about this, reach out to an RSC or reach out to myself. This is a very important step because you have to make sure the box is checked in order to use that corporate name for tax information to be sent to them properly. So any questions on some of that, just reach out to me or Carrie or Kelly or your RSC, and they'll assist with that because it is a very particular and important step. Phone numbers, they always need to be business. If they go to mobile, they will not feed to all the software or the websites properly. So anytime an agent's added or a phone number is changed, we want them to be business numbers. Here's where their address is. Same thing with this. This has to be mailing. It cannot be physical or it would not populate the reports properly or the information that they're going to need. It won't get to them the right way. And then over here we have their email and their website is on here too. So you can put work email or personal email, and then URL is where their website would be displayed. You do need to put that full URL in there. And then anytime you update something or change it, always just hit the submit button. This will make sure it goes to Dash. And then if you, just to make sure you don't get any errors, you want a successful submission. You can see the submission results here. This was a successful submission back in 2024 of November. So that will give you a success. If you get a fail, you'll be like a business rule violation or something like that. And that error will be here. And that means it has not gone to Dash and it has not updated there. And really what we need to update is Dash. So just, we're going to go back to basics. Let's see. You can go through, there's not much stuff in here. This is where their info is. some of this stuff, but please, if you're gonna update it, please make sure you're well aware of what you're doing, because there is particular stuff. It is very particular about things. So here's the web profile. This is where you can update the agent's headshot. Now, the agent does have the ability, I believe, to do this. There was some kind of workings with them not being able to pull up the box. I know there's a ticket in for it, but ASCs do have the ability. So ASCs can add headshots for their agents. And again, anytime you're doing those, please submit and make sure they go to Dash. The next thing is where they add their web profile, and then you're gonna pick personal profile, and then they can add the agent bio and anything in there. Just it gets a little bit weird with special characters, so sometimes just make sure that those are entered without any of those, and again, submit to make sure that they go. So that's how you can add their agent bios, and those will feed over to the Moxie and the Coldwell Banker website. One thing I want to go back here though is to check if agents are logging in and they're getting a pop-up screen that allows them to edit their name and things, and they'll stay in a continuous loop if that pops up. They won't be able to get past it. The only thing you need to do is to come into their Agent Basics tab and just mark onboarding as finished. This will allow them to progress past that screen, and then they can add their bios, websites. They can change property photos, things like that on their own. The property photos are important because they will feed to the global luxury, especially for those luxury properties. So I'll flip over to a property really quick and I'll show you some of that. Any questions on agents stuff? Agent bios or headshots or their name and things like that. Again, if you have questions, you can always email me or reach out. So we'll just cover properties really quick and I'll show you where to add those photos, because this does get a little bit weird. I'm just going to pull up a property we can take a look at. Let's go with, oh, this is what's wrong. And so from here, you kind of do have to scroll down a little bit, and then you're going to see this media stream. Depending on how big your screen is, you may need to scroll or it may be there, but we're going to click media stream. And this is where the photos came over from the MLS. So you can see 35 pictures were added from the MLS and 0 were added manually. And then this tells you when they were last updated, any info on that. So if I wanted to swap these out, so there we go, that's a nice one. To put in the high resolution, a lot of MLSs you can see will have a watermark here. Agents don't like that, especially for luxury photos. Oftentimes the MLS does dumb down the resolution as well, and they just won't feed to those luxury property websites is nice. We do want their actual high resolution photos in there. They paid for them, let's use them. They do make the property just showcase so much better. So if I wanted to delete all of these, you can click edit multiple photos, that will pop them up, and then it doesn't look like you can drop and drag, but you can. It looks weird, but you can move them around with that way if you just want to specifically edit them, and then you just click save. I'm going to cancel out, because if I wanted to select all and then delete them, you want to delete the old pictures first. And then I would go here to add multiple photos. This would then be able to give me the ability, I can do it from a zip folder. You can do it from Drive. You could add them in. You just need to bring them all over and then click open, and then they will upload. Just keep in mind, there's this little cloud down here. When you initially click that upload photo, it will hesitate for a few seconds, and then you'll see a red dot down there. That means there's photos in like their little cloud that are updating. They do just take a minute. So just hesitate for just a second before you hit the upload button again, because then you will get duplicates and you'll upload them twice. So just something to keep in mind there, for the, agent's property photos. And then again, when you change the photos, just hit submit. You can go into Dash and take a look and see that, they did update in Dash. You can also add multiple videos. The videos need to be added a little bit differently, when there are these virtual tours and such, or those, the 3D, um, what are the words I'm looking for? The 3D tours and things like that. You're just gonna, most often they're gonna be media format. And then there's 3D video or virtual tour. Those are the ones I've used the most. I haven't done so much of these. It is specific to how it will, there is YouTube video, I think, too, but maybe it's in here. So there's a YouTube URL as well, or video or 3D video. So it's really just getting which format and which category, that coincide in order for them to submit. And then you just paste the link for any URL. They most often give you the link with the high resolution videos, and then you could put a description if you'd like, virtual tour or anything like that. And then you just click save. So if you want the videos on there as well, this is how you add the videos. They don't get added as an image, or that you will get you won't submit. You'll get a notification. So that's really all I have for the agent portion of it. There were two things I was just going to cover quickly, on a couple of things that we see quite a bit. So I'm going to go to the basics tab, just as a reminders for ASCs that are inputting in properties or transactions. One of the things that we're seeing quite a bit of is this type code and the accounting code. These are two very specific things that cannot change. If we have a property and then it's a residential, it's actually commercial, we cannot just change the drop down, from residential to commercial or residential sale. We actually have to copy the whole record. And we would do that by doing this up here. You hit the copy button and it will then copy, let's do it. It will, then you can choose the listing and selling site info and just hit copy. You will then get a duplicated record that will say duplicated and then the street address, and that's okay. But that it initially creates a new GUID that will then allow it to submit to Dash. It's very important that it does submit to Dash, because if it's closed out without it submitting or having this error message on it, then it doesn't go to ePay. They don't get a credit for their awards. It's just a huge mess down the road. So to try to limit some of that work at the end of the year, it's really important that we're entering them properly and that we're not changing the type code or accounting code. There are a couple of handouts that are in the ASC procedure drive in the Darwin Cloud folder that does cover some of these. It also covers what statuses can be updated to what. We can't reactivate canceled transactions, but if they are withdrawn or expired, we can reactivate those. So there are some of those idiosyncrasies that there's just certain rules with how they go and how they submit. So it's not bad to review those if you have any questions. The other thing would be, and then if you did need to copy this record and there was an EMD on it, earnest money, then you can just reach out to accounting, myself, your RSC, they can notify us. We can reassign that to the new property record. I don't think ASCs have the ability to do that. We would prefer not to do that, but it is necessary sometimes. So something to keep in mind. Let me see chat. Can you go directly down in the reports to the trend? Kaylee, did you find the media stream tab? By any chance? You may just need to scroll down. There is a scroll bar here. She's just saying she doesn't get the media stream, but it may just be that it's hidden on the side. The difference between, okay, Kaylee, let's jump in a call after this and we'll take a look at your screen, or if you want to just stay on. The difference between a video, a lot of virtual tours are now going to the 3D video, Dawn. What is the stuff where you can manipulate it? Can anybody remember? I can't think of it off the top of my head for some reason. The master or there's all kinds of different videos these days. You mostly see 3D nowadays than rather than just the 2D flat YouTube videos. They'll show Matterport, that's the word I was looking for. You just kind of have to play around with it too, Dawn. I have to do it as well because it just depends on what the video is saved as, kind of what they've coded in the backside. So I just keep doing it until I get a successful submission. Most likely it's going to be just a URL and the video. They're pretty basic. So that's a great question. And then Sherry, thanks. Thanks also, Brenda, for helping me find the recording. Sherry, you wanted me to cover the reports one more time. The last thing I just wanted to say really quick before we move away from the properties is that in no situation should we be using the delete button ever. If you need to get rid of a property, if it was added by accident, then you can just withdraw it or cancel it and then submit it, because what it's done now is it's gone to Dash and then it's created a property there. And when you delete the record in AccountTech, it closes that link and we can no longer update it in Dash, and then it's out there just marketing forever. So please don't ever use the delete button. Just change the status, withdraw it or cancel it, expire it, whichever you'd like. But please, in no terms should we use delete or change the type code or accounting code. Two biggest things. So as far as reports, Sherry, you wanted me to just show the 1099 again?
Well, can you go down? You went in a different way than I normally do, but if
Okay.
you go down, scroll down, can you get it? Is it the same thing if you scroll down to the, like here it shows CB Paradise, the agent 1099 review?
Oh yeah, you can. This will pick it
Okay.
for you. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure they were the
they're
same
custom
thing.
reports is what they are, but yes, you can.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Thank you.
still would put the name in and everything, but you can also pick it from there, like Michigan
Okay.
2024.
All right. Thank you. I just
Good
want to
point.
make sure they were the
Yeah,
same
yep, you
thing.
can do that. And then you just won't have to pick the report. It'll pick it for you and you just pick the agent at that point. But either way, yep. I didn't have anything else. Does anybody have questions? That's all I really have to cover.
Talk about the earnest money one more time. You said if it was a mutual release and we are reactivating the listing.
Then we would make create a new property. So if, say, what's the one I was just on? So this one, if it had escrow on it, I'm just gonna, if the deal falls through, I would just change it to canceled. I wouldn't, it would technically be pending, but then I would change it. I would cancel it. I don't know that it will give me the option. Cancel. There we go. I would cancel it and then it'll ask you if you want to reactivate the property. In that case, you would, because this escrow needs to stay on here in order to give it back to the buyer. And then when you add a new escrow, it would go on the new property record. But as far if you were copying it, and it's still the same deal, it's just, oh, this is entered as commercial. It came in as residential in the from the MLS, but really it's actually a commercial property. I need to change the type code so that our commercial department gets credit for this. You would just hit the copy button. I'll go ahead and do it. Listing and selling site info and then copy. Actually, I'm not going to do it because I think it'll actually cancel this one out. And then you just hit yes. And then you're going to get another one. I'll show you an example, one that was copied. It'll say duplicated. And there's probably quite a few. So you can see it comes across as this now. It'll say duplicated and then it has the property address. I wonder if there's any actives. And that is, and that's what it's gonna look like. It'll just now allow it to go to dash, and then once I update it, or once I copy it, now I can change my type code and my accounting code. Now I would update it to, a commercial sale, commercial lease. You just wanna make sure that it's not gone to dash yet. And there, if it's been pulled in and then it's been sitting there a while, it's gone to dash. That's the reason for copying it. So we get a new record, we can update it at that time, and then we submit it after we made the changes. But if there was an EMD, it was an active property, it just, we needed to update those things. Then we can reassign the escrow to the new duplicated property. You just need to reach out to like your accounting department or me. I can help with that too.
So that's only if the type code needs to be changed, which shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't, but
Like-
there's often times it does.
We don't have to reach out to you if everything is right and we're just reactivating it like normal.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what I want. Okay.
Yeah, no, like if it was just a canceled property. Like if the deal fell through. Yeah.
Yeah,
the
and
escrow wouldn't
everything
be
else was
reassigned.
right.
Yeah, the escrow would actually be going back to, we want to keep that record. The escrow would go
Yeah.
back to the buyer or the seller, depending on how it went. But we wouldn't have to reassign it at that point because we're not keeping the same we don't need to keep that same record. We actually want a new record of that. Does that make sense? Any other questions? I don't have anything else. I will stay on though. Who needed that? Kaylee, I'll stay on, but everybody else, thanks for joining. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can go from there. Thank you.
Thank you.